You make hundreds, maybe thousands of decisions every single day, and you probably like to think that you make them based on pure, cold, hard logic. But what if I told you that your most important choices can be completely flipped just by changing a few words? Just think about that for a second. We're not talking about lying, we're not talking about hiding information, we're talking about presenting the exact same facts, the same numbers, in a different way. It sounds kind of impossible, right? Well, as we're about to see, it happens all the time.
So to really get how this works, we've got to go back to this landmark experiment from 1981. Two psychologists, Tversky and Kahneman, came up with this terrifying, high-stakes scenario to see how people really make decisions under pressure.
Okay, so imagine this. A deadly disease is about to sweep through a community, and experts predict it's going to kill 600 people. The stakes are as high as they get. And guess what? You're the one in charge. You have to make the call.
So, you've got two programs to choose from. Your decision is literally going to determine who lives and who dies. Here are your first two options.
So what's it going to be? Program A, the safe bet, right? You walk away knowing for a fact that 200 people are saved. Or do you go with Program B, the gamble? There's a 1 in 3 shot you're a hero and save everyone, but a 2 in 3 shot that you save absolutely no one. Go ahead, lock in your answer. And hey, if you chose Program A, you're not alone. Far from it. In the original study, a whopping 72% of people picked the certain option. And it makes sense, doesn't it? The idea of saving 200 lives for sure, that feels concrete. It feels responsible. It's a guaranteed win. But this is where things get really wild. The researchers then went to a different group of people with the exact same problem. The numbers, the probabilities, the outcomes, all of it identical. The only thing they changed was the wording. Whoa. Okay, look closely at what's happening here. Program C, where 400 people will die, is the exact same outcome as Program A, where 200 are saved, right? And Program D, the gamble, is mathematically identical to Program B. The only difference is the focus. We've shifted from talking about lives saved to talking about lives lost. So which one do you pick now?
And boom, just like that, the results do a complete 180. This time, 78% of people chose the gamble, Program D. All of a sudden, that certain option, where 400 people are guaranteed to die, feels awful, unbearable even. People were willing to take a massive risk just to avoid that certain loss.
Let that sink in for a second. The facts did not change one bit, yet people's life and death decisions were radically reversed. This isn't about logic anymore, is it? There's something else going on here, a powerful psychological force that is twisting our perception of reality. So let's name this thing. Let's pull back the curtain on this invisible force. What Tversky and Kahneman showed the world so brilliantly is a cognitive bias that affects every single one of us, every single day. It's called the framing effect, and the core idea is pretty simple but powerful. The frame we use to see a problem, the words, the context, the emphasis, can actually matter more than the facts of the problem itself. And this right here breaks down the psychology perfectly. When the choice was framed around a gain, saving lives, we become risk-averse. We want to lock in that definite win. But the second you frame that exact same choice as a loss, people dying, we suddenly become risk-seeking. We're willing to gamble it all to avoid a certain painful outcome. This whole gain versus loss thing, that's the engine driving this entire phenomenon. And it's such a fundamental part of our psychology that, well, it's used in persuasion all the time. Let's get to the emotional core of it. A gain frame feels good. It's positive, it's reassuring, and it makes us want to play it safe and lock in that good feeling. But a loss frame? Man, that hits a nerve. It triggers this deep-seated hatred of losing something. It creates fear, it creates urgency, and it pushes us to take risks we'd normally run away from. Okay, so this is a super interesting mind trick, but you might be thinking, does this actually happen in real life? Oh, absolutely. Once you know what to look for, you start to see it everywhere, especially in a high-stakes negotiation. A really skilled negotiator, they get this instinctively. To make their offer sound like a fantastic, safe deal, they'll frame it around all the things you are guaranteed to gain. But to make your alternative, walking away from the table, seem terrifying, they'll frame that around all the things you stand to lose. They use both frames to gently steer you exactly where they want you to go. And this, right here, this is the big idea. It's worth saying again. It is one of the most powerful concepts in modern psychology. You can completely change someone's decision without ever changing the underlying facts. And trust me, this isn't just for fancy business deals. Marketing does this constantly. Is a ground beef 80% lean, or does it contain 20% fat? Politicians talk about tax relief, that's a gain, while their opponent is planning on slashing services, that's a loss. The frames are absolutely everywhere, quietly nudging our opinions. Which brings us to a final and kind of unsettling thought. Now that you know about the frame, you can start to spot it. That's the first step to thinking more clearly. But it really makes you wonder, how many of the choices you thought were 100% your own were actually shaped by a frame you never even knew was there? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.